I've been having a lot of talks recently about relationships, especially with my children as they start to have relationships, have more mature relationships, decide not to get into relationships. It's a concern for young people what that's supposed to look like because society gives us an image that relationships are easy and if they don't work for us, we can just toss them away. The scripture this morning that the adults are going to be looking at is Mark 10, and one of the things it talks about is it mentions is divorce. Now, the whole scripture about divorce has been used very, very badly to hurt a whole lot of people, and I'm not going to get into that right now. If you want to listen to a little bit more of my thoughts on that, you can listen to the sermon about vulnerability. But the thing that Jesus talks about isn't really divorce. He avoids the question really when he's talking with the Pharisees. He's talking about relationship and what relationships should look like. And he gives this image of the ideal relationship that we should have, where you the person you are with is someone that you will walk away from all your other relationships to build one with her, so or them rather. So you will walk away, you will not let your family dictate who you date, who you see, who you spend time with, and that's both of you. Uh, the Bible is very binary in there, but it can be seen for anybody, any relationship. The ideal is that you essentially are like puzzle pieces and you fit into each other quite well. Now, the chances of you finding this forever person where you grew up is not impossible, but it's not great because geography might be why you meet a whole lot of people, but it doesn't mean you necessarily have the same interest and grow with them. But if you are lucky enough to find someone really young in life, growing with them is something that's part of a relationship. But it's walking away from, moving away from, not turning your back on completely, because obviously we still need our families and have that kind of relationship. But it's prioritizing the person who you have decided is your other half, is the other part of your being. And it's one of those things, and I'm sure you've been told, that you won't know who it is until you have experienced it. And I hate doing that to you, but it's true. Until you actually have that experience of the other person fitting into all of your holes, you won't recognize them. Jesus talked about a relationship that God put together. Far too often we spend time on just us putting things together because someone looks good or they seem to be interested in a couple of things that we're interested in, or we grew up and our families are friends so they expect us to get together. Those aren't necessarily God-made relationships. Those might be just human-made relationships, and human-made relationships might not last. The ideal of finding that other part of you is is a very romantic part of the human imagination. But it's the part that God has designed for us. That there is someone out there, maybe more than one someone, but there is someone out there who fills all of our gaps. And that is what we should be looking for. It's not something we can force. It's something we have to experience. And that's the kind of relationship we're looking for. If we force it, it's probably not going to last too long. It'll collapse under the pressure of that expectation, and that's not what we want.